What's up, guys? Go back to Real, and we got House of the Dragon episode 2 of official release, and to me, I thought this episode was so good, especially it was giving us more, especially what's going on with the King Visery and the small council with the Rhaenyra who is the heir to the Iron Throne, and especially what are the Daemon's plans are, especially for that big reveal. I totally set up the Targaryen war. It's supposed to be set up, especially in this series as well. So in this video, this will be my full spoiler review for House of the Dragon episode 2, going over everything that happened in this episode, including for the ending and everything that sets up, especially for the remainder for the rest of the series as well. But if you haven't seen House of the Dragon episode 2, this is going to be your spoiler warning, so click on this video now and come back to this video after you've seen the episode. But if you're new here and you enjoy stuff like this, then be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so much on visit this feature. So let's get into it. And so with this episode, it opens with an intro that is basically the same layout as from the original Game of Thrones intro, and then it opens with people getting attacked with crabs, especially someone who is known as the crab feeder, and now with a crocodile draw hair, aka the crab feeder. He's the commander of Westeros's largest navy. And then we see King Visery in the small council, and we see Lord Velaryon coming in and saying that he wants to burn and defeat the crab feeder. It says that he's doing everything that I can, and seizing the stepstone, and that he says that like a Prince Daemon has stolen something from the dragon's stone, and a witch is like an actual castle located in the island of Blackwater. And then Rhaenyra suggests that a dragon rider can go with them, but with Visery suggests that they hire a knight to go with them. And plus, with the Dragonstone Castle, it's been served for years as a seat of House Targaryen in the Game of Thrones universe, and it's where the first king of the Seven Kingdoms was born. And back in Game of Thrones season 7, it's where we saw the Daenerys Targaryen is suddenly in there. And those people right now, and also over by the candles and making wishes with the Alison, like she mentions that like Visery chose Rhaenyra to be his heir to the throne, and then with the Rhaenyra, she also replies and that they spurred the Daemon, but then they chose her, and then they decided to make wish by the candles, and with the Rhaenyra. And she makes a wish that like Visery can see her more than is a little child, and also like she makes a wish by the king, and that it helps her and to be with her mother who has been dead for a year and a half. And then next we see Visery and Corlys and tells them that with the king's brother who is Prince Daemon as claiming the Targaryen seat on the Dragon's Stone, as to join their families and to with their daughter who is a Lena Valeron, and which we then see in the next scene, and which she tells them Visery and to join their families so that she can have children that are made of pure of Valyrian blood. And then next we see Rhaenyra and Rhaenyra, and then they end up talking, and then with Rhaenyra, like she reveals to Rhaenyra that with her father is that he will marry a new woman sooner rather than later, and that with the second wife that like she will make a new heirs to the Iron Throne. And now with the King Visery, he now has to find another woman to remarry as his second wife. It's because back in the first episode, from where we saw Visery's first wife and giving birth to her baby, which ended up with her dead, and with that tragic birth of giving birth to her baby, and now with the Visery's first wife and now dead, and now that King Visery and now has to find his second wife. That we see Visery at the small council, and then it is then revealed Daemon has stolen a dragon egg and from more than 50 dragon keepers, and they have to take that egg back. It's because Daemon is getting married to his second wife, who is named Lady Visery, and with that egg that they had to have for their baby's cradle, and has and invited by Visery to his wedding, and then we see Otto assembling his army to get Daemon to get back the dragon egg, and then with the Rhaenyra, like she reveals to Daemon that that with Visery, that like he named her princess of the dragon stone, and that he is living in her castle, especially with Daemon as her uncle, and then after that, and next we see Daemon just like giving Rhaenyra the egg and then just walking away. And now, with this ending, we see the Daemon and Lady Visery, and then with Lady Visery, that like she mentions about how she's been hiding in terror, and that she's been liberating in fear, and Daemon tells her that like she is to stay with him, and then with this big reveal, it is the reveal that with the King of Visery, he's made a choice about who he wants to remarry as his second wife. And she chose Alicent Hightower at Spring's End, which means and that was Rhaenyra's best friend, that like she's like going to become her stepmom, and then we see Corlys having a conversation with Daemon, and then with the then reveals a place of some type of prince that has been attacking their sailors, and then with this episode it closes with a shot of the crab feeder. And yeah, with House of the Dragon episode 2, I think I really enjoyed this episode, and even with its big reveals, especially with Alicent now being chosen to be Visery's second wife, to now be remarried, and I think that it just started the Targaryen war, especially with Visery and Daemon, and now with the Corlys, and now with the crab feeder, and which we'll get some explanation from him, probably in like future episodes. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, especially with the theme at the beginning of this episode. I definitely felt like Game of Thrones, and like even with this prequel spin-off series, as I said before, the events of Game of Thrones as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed that episode too, and I can't wait to see what's story for the next episode, and probably for future episodes of House of the Dragon as well. So as people first reveal, leave the thoughts in the comments down below, and what are your thoughts on House of the Dragon episode 2? Give me a rating between 1 out of 10. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to notifications about future videos. And for live updates, you can always follow me on Twitter. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.